With Abdel-Fattah Adeyemi, you unlock a world of wisdom, growth, and connection. It's time to live, love, learn, and build a better world together. Be inspired. Be motivated. Edit your universe.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. My name is Abdel-Fattah Adeyemi. This is a reflection on Surah Al-Furqan, chapter 25, verses 63 to 67. In the Quran, there exists a passage that is full of light. It is so luminous that it serves as a mirror for our soul, for our hearts. You can look at yourself in the mirror and see your face. But this verse is a mirror for the soul. It gives a description of those people whom Allah honors with the title Ibad-ur-Rahman, the servants of the Most Merciful. And these verses, chapter 25 from verses 63 to 67, they are not mere historical descriptions. They are not things that will say, okay, it was revealed long ago and then it was done with. They are a living blueprint, a kind of sketch of human excellence that transcends time and culture. It's like, let us see what constitutes excellence in some of the behaviors of human beings. And incidentally, it comprises of a lot of aspects of human life. So let us walk through this design verse by verse, and we discover how it constructs both spiritual nobility and social grace. Starting with the first blueprint, and I want us to pay attention. It's going to be very useful for all of us. The first blueprint addresses the way we walk. That's the way we move around on earth. And that is where humility is born. Verse 63. Almighty Allah says, Wa Ibad-ur-Rahman, alladhina yamshuna ala al-ardi hawna, wa idha khatabahumul jahilun qalu salama. And the servants of the Most Merciful, the servants of Allah, the Most Merciful. Allah knows why He chose this name, Ar-Rahman, of the beautiful names of Allah. Wa Ibad-ur-Rahman, and the servants of Allah, the Most Merciful. There's a reason why Allah is using one of His attributes of mercy to describe this kind of people. There's also a reason why Allah referred to them as the servants of Rahman. It's like there's a connection between them and Allah, the Rahman Himself. It's also as if Allah wants them and all of us too to imbibe the quality of that attribute of Almighty Allah, the Most Merciful. And who are these special servants of Allah? They are those who walk upon the earth easily, with humility. And when the ignorant people address them harshly, they say words of peace. It seems it's a contrast. The Ibad-ur-Rahman on one side, the ignorant people on the other side. That is what the Quran is stylishly painting to us as a picture. In other words, you are either an Abdul-Rahman or you are a Jahil, you are an ignorant person. So the verse begins not with prayer, not with fasting, but with how we walk. Wa Ibad-ur-Rahman alladhina, the servants of the Most Merciful, who what? Not who prays or who fasts or who gives zakat. Allah began from this aspect of human life. And how do they walk? They walk in some ways, and this is very deep. Before addressing our relationship with Allah, the Quran addresses our relationship with the earth itself. and with those who inhabit the earth. Allah says, Yamushuna ala al-ardi hauna. They walk upon the earth easily, gently. They walk with tranquility. And this is not the walk of arrogant, those people who strut with self-importance. It is not the walk of the arrogant person who strut with self-importance, self-pride, and it's not the work of the anxious people or an anxious person who rush with worldly concerns, struggling and strutting and rushing. It is the gait of those who know they are walking on borrowed soil toward an appointed meeting under the watchful eye of the one who knows it all. The earth, we met it here. We cannot claim that we are older than the earth. The earth, we met it here. It is the one that is actually carrying our weight. And the earth is the one that is buffering, that is stopping the pull of gravity so that we can remain stable on earth. And this Ibad-ur-Rahman, they understand this very well. According to Ibn Kathir, he said, Haun, that gentleness, means walking with dignity and with humility, not with arrogance and not with pride. Is the work of those who understand that the earth beneath their feet will one day consume their bodies, and the earth above their graves will bear witness to their deeds. We are all from the earth. We are going to return to the earth. The believer understands this relationship, and the believer understands this hierarchy, if I may say, that, okay, what is our relationship with the earth that we walk upon? Minha khalaqnakum wa minha numitukum wa minha nukhrijukum taratan ukhra. It is from the earth that we were created. It is from there, inside it, we are going to be returned, and from it we are going to be resurrected again. So Allah kind of mentioned Yamushuna ala al-ardi, those who walk on earth, and there's a sense in it to say, look, remember the earth, remember where you came from, and you are going to return into it one day. So we walk around understanding that relationship between us and the earth. And let us now look at the walking itself, Yamushu, that the Quran talks about, and that is the language of the feet, the language that our legs speak. Before the tongue could speak, the body has already announced us. Before we utter a single word, the way we walk has already spoken volumes about who we are. Not only that, it also talks about what we believe and how we relate to the world beneath our feet. The Quran pays attention to human behavior, and so the Quran begins its description of Ibad-ur-Rahman not with their prayers and not with their fasting, but with how they move around on earth. And that is why I will repeat the verse again. Wa Ibad-ur-Rahman alladhina yamshuna ala al-ardi hauna. And the servants of the Most Merciful, they are those who walk upon the earth easily and gently and with tranquility. This is not an accident. The walk itself is the outer manifestation of our inner state. The feet are the translators of our souls. Let us now observe this anthropology, learning to read the languages of walks, of tribes, and the language of the steps, and the difference between humility and humiliation, the difference between gentleness and weakness, and the difference between dignity and vanity. They are not the same. The spectrum of the stride, let's start from there. You see, we have many types of the way we walk. Number one, there's the walk of arrogance, where somebody will say, I am the center. And the Quran says in chapter 17, verse 37, that وَلَا تَمْشِي فِي الْأَرْضِ مَرَحًا إِنَّكَ لَن تَخْرِقَ الْأَرْضَ وَلَن تَبْلُغَ الْجِبَالَ طُولًا. Don't walk upon the earth exultantly. Don't walk on the earth with arrogance. I don't know why Allah takes it so seriously. Because the way people walk actually can define who they are. We can know their weaknesses. We can know their mental illnesses also from the way they walk. Allah says, however you want to walk, you should understand that innaka lan takhriqa al-ardh wa lan tablugha al-jibala tula. Indeed, you will never tear open the earth, no matter how much you walk, and you cannot reach the mountains in height. Allah Akbar. So the arrogant walk is a performance. That's what the Quran is trying to say. The walk of arrogance is performance. Somebody raises his arms like this as if he has boils under his armpit. And some people do that a lot. Have you not noticed? Some people are very funny to look at. They just like do like this. You know, how do they do it? Chest will be thrust forward like this, and chin will be elevated like that. I saw somebody like that. Then the shoulders will be pulled back excessively, as if they are a chicken walking in form of human being. Then shoulders will pull back, steps that are heavy, that are deliberate, claiming territory. And sometimes a slight sway or swagger. Some people will be swaying from side to side like that, as if the earth should tremble beneath their feet. All is performance. And what does it reveal? It reveals the person's worldview. That person actually thinks that the universe revolves around him or her. It also reveals the person's emotion, inflated self-worth that is masking some deep insecurity. And the person's mindset is that of comparison. I'm better than the others. It's that of competition. Nobody can do this better than me, or nobody has it more than I do. Or others are obstacles, or sometimes they are audience. That is their mindset. They look at other people as obstacles, and they look at the rest of you as audience that should be watching them. You know, that kind of thing. As if, okay, we have a drama. You guys are the audience. They will not walk like this if nobody is around. Have you noticed? If nobody is there looking at them, they will walk normally. But when people come around, they will not just be like something like that. So you see, it's a kind of insecurity. If I'm going to ask, it's a kind of poverty. It is those who don't have anything that actually show arrogance. And they don't know how demeaning this can be. So spiritually, it's a kind of forgetfulness of the grave, of the fact that we are going to return to that earth. It's a kind of heedlessness of the creator himself. If you, ordinary creature, is behaving like that, what will Allah, who has created all of us? The arrogant walker forgets that the same earth that bears his weight will one day embrace his decaying body. His strut is a rebellion against his own mortality. It's a denial that he too will die one day. Number two, the shuffle of humiliation. You know, the first one I was trying to explain is, what did I call it? The strut of arrogance. There's the movement of arrogance. Here we are talking about another one of the shuffle of humiliation. That is the opposite of this one we just mentioned now. And that is somebody saying, I am nothing. At the opposite extreme lies this walk of this person that is broken in the spirit. It is not the brokenness of humility before Allah. That is where the problem lies. But the crushing of human dignity by circumstances or by oppression. Look at the physical manifestation of this kind of people. Their shoulders are hunched and their heads are lowered like that. Their eyes are fixed on the ground. They avoid contact with other people. The steps are hesitant. The steps are small. And the steps are apologetic, as if they are sorry for walking. And you see a dragging of feet, as if each step requires permission before they can walk. And some will just be walking around like a pregnant duck. You know, one step like that, one step like that. What does it reveal about somebody? It reveals a kind of worldview that says, I have no place in this world, or that I am invisible, or that I am worthless. Emotionally, the person has got some shame in them. They feel shame. They have fear, not shyness, but shame and fear, and they have a kind of learned helplessness. They feel helpless with themselves. When it comes to their mindset, they have this kind of internalized oppression. They believe that I need to diminish myself before I can be permitted to exist. On the spiritual level, it's the kind of despair of Allah's mercy. And Christ never lose hope in Allah's mercy. And then forgetting that Allah honors the children of Adam. Walakad karamna bani Adam. Allah says, I've already honored the children of Adam. This is not the work of the believer. The believer may be humble, but he is never humiliated. In his self-perception, because he knows that according to Quran chapter 17 verse 70, وَلَقَدْ كَرَّمْنَا بَنِي Adam, and we have indeed honored the children of Adam. Now we are looking at different types of work now. Yamshuna. The first one is the arrogant one. The second one is this one that is humiliating himself. And unfortunately, some of us, we think it's a show of taqwa. It's a show of, okay, yes, I'm a humble person. No, a person can be humble, but don't be humiliated. Stop walking around as if you are seeking permission to walk around. Then there's another one, the saunter of sloth. That's somebody who is slothful in movement. And that's exactly how it moves. Some human beings move like that. They move as if life is too heavy. As if, the whole problem of this world have been put on my shoulders. Some walk as if gravity has personally targeted them. As if they have personal problem with gravity. Every step is an effort. Every movement is a burden. The physical manifestation is that they are slow, they are lethargic in their pace. They have this poor posture. Their body seems to sag. And their feet barely lifted from the ground. They have the general air of exhaustion. And even when they are well rested, they walk around like somebody who is tired of life. And what does this reveal? It reveals a kind of worldview that life is a weight to be endured, not a gift to be embraced. You see somebody's mindset now. They see life as a weight that they are carrying, as a burden, but they are not seeing life as a gift to be embraced with gratitude. With their emotion, they have apathy, they have depression, and they have lack of purpose in life. And as for their mindset, there's no urgency, no direction, and they keep drifting through existence as if something is dragging them. And spiritually, they have lost what is called himma. Himma means spiritual aspiration. They have forgetfulness that every step can be an act of worship, so they just neglect the whole thing. Allah Akbar. Remember how the prophet used to walk. The prophet walked with purpose. His companions describe him as walking as if descending from a height. Remember that hadith? As if, not in arrogance, but in the awareness that he was going somewhere that is useful, that is meaningful. That is number 3 way of the way people walk, Yamushuna. Let me mention one more or two. The bounds of frivolity. This is the opposite of the slothful one. The person who look at life as a party. Yes, life as a party. This is the work of those who have mistaken dunya for paradise. You see, there's a problem there. These people have been scammed by Shaitan. Shaitan makes them believe that, look, just enjoy yourself here. And what you see in their physical manifestation, they become bouncy. They have light steps. They have excessive animation when they walk, almost as if they are dancing when they are walking. They are easily distracted. They are not focused on a particular direction. They turn and they twirl, no steady direction, and they keep meandering. There are some people like that. What is the worldview of this kind of people? Their mindset is that of a pleasure. They see life as a pleasure. The moment is all that matters. You see the way they dress also, it reveals that they don't really care about any other thing apart from what they wear and the things they enjoy at the moment. Emotionally, they have this superficial joy that is masking existential emptiness. You actually think they have everything, and you see a lot of them on TV, you see a lot of them on the social media. The way they walk around, you too, you'll be looking at yourself as if, is it only me that life is difficult for? From the way they walk around, they play around, they saunter around, they bounce around, they wear certain things. In fact, if you wear the kind of canvas they wear, you think maybe their own is different from yours because this canvas seems to be bouncing them. And amongst them that are ladies amongst them, they wear this high heel and they have a way of just going around as if that's all about this life. You see them on celebrity runways. You see them when they do this, there are things they do. Fashion parade sometimes. And there are some people who actually walk like that in reality. What is their emotion? They have this superficial joy that is masking existential emptiness. In reality, they are very empty. Apart from that performance, there's nothing more about their lives. They can laugh a lot, they can joke a lot, they can take life very easily a lot, but that is a mask of the kind of emptiness in their lives. Emotionally, that's who they are. As for their mindset, they avoid responsibility and they avoid depth. When it comes to the rigors, what it takes to be alive, they avoid. They can't cope. They can't cope. And spiritually, these people have ghafla. Ghafla means heedlessness. Heedlessness of the hereafter. They are living as if eternal in this world, as if they will never die again. The believer laughs. That's not to say the person will not laugh. The believer laughs, but his laughter is balanced. The believer enjoys life, but his feet know that they walk towards a meeting with Allah. And so, how exactly should a believer walk now? Having mentioned all of these four, one happening to be the opposite of the other, there's a golden mean. Why Ibad-ur-Rahman are the servants of the Most Merciful. Alladhina yamshuna ala al-ardi hauna. How a believer should walk is that hauna that we mentioned. Hauna means gentleness, not roughness, not aggression. Hauna means tranquility, inner peace that is manifesting outwardly. Hauna means dignity, self-respect without self-importance. No, there are two different things. Self-respect without self-importance. And it also means ease, freedom from the anxiety of seeking approval from people. You don't really care what people say about you or what they want to comment about you. You are just having your life. You are free already. You are not self-conscious to say, people will be looking at me, that why am I walking like this? No, you are just going about your business. And then there's a moderation, neither strutting nor shuffling. And let us now articulate the paradoxes of this walk. A believer is humble, but is not humiliated. I want to emphasize that. The Quran chapter 35 verse 10, Allah says, Man kana yuridu al-izzata falillahi al-izzatu jami'a. Anybody that desires honor, you should know that to Allah belongs all honors. This humility, tawadu, comes from knowing his place before Allah, not from feeling small before the people. Humiliation says, I am less than you. Humility says, I am no better than you, but I'm the servant of the one who is greater than all of us. The humble believer walks with a straight spine, not bent back. Straight spine, not bent back. He walks with eyes that see others without looking down upon them. You see the difference like that. He sees people, but he doesn't look down on them. He has the feet that tread firmly, knowing that the earth is a trust, not a throne. He does not grovel before the powerful, because he knows that true power belongs to Allah alone. He does not look down upon the weak, because he knows that Allah may honor them beyond what he can see. for now. So get it straight. A believer is humble, but is not humiliated in the way he walks. And then let's look at it again. A believer is gentle, but is not a pushover. The believer embodies ashidda'u 'ala al-kuffar ruhama'u bainahum. You see that in Quran chapter 48 verse 29. Gentleness is called rifq, and it is not weakness. The Prophet ﷺ said, Inna rifqa la yakunu fi shay'in illa zanahu, wa la yunza'u min shay'in illa sha'nahu. The Prophet said, indeed, gentleness doesn't enter anything except that it adorns it. Anything gentleness enters, it looks beautiful. And it is not removed from anything except that it disgraces it. Now, you see what I'm trying to say now is, a believer is gentle, but he's not a pushover. Yes, you can't cheat him. You can't chance him like they normally say. The distinction between weakness and gentleness is that weakness surrenders principles in order to avoid conflict, whereas gentleness maintains principles while softening the delivery of that principle. The gentle believer walks with a calm demeanor that does not provoke, with a kind of readiness to yield in personal matters, but firmness when it comes to divine boundaries that are being crossed. When the ignorant address him harshly, he says salam, not because he fears them, but because he refuses to descend to their level. This is the strength in restraint, not cowardice in confrontation. And the third thing is that a believer's humility is dignified but not vain. Dignity is called waqar. It is the believer's birthright. The Prophet himself, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, was described as having waqar in his walk, a presence. Yes, that's what it means. A presence that commanded respect without demanding it. When you enter into a place, people know that somebody has entered. You don't have to announce yourself. You don't have to introduce yourself. When you enter into the place, they know that this is a person of honor has come. And they will not treat you the way they treat other people. This is what I'm trying to say. You see what the Prophet said? Inna Allaha yuhibbul abda at-taqiyya al-ghaniyya al-khafiyya. Indeed, Allah loves a pious servant who is pious, who is self-sufficient, and who is discreet. Somebody whose presence is already noticed. And somebody who, when they eventually talk, everybody wants to listen. Because you are not a frivolous person. You are not in vain. Vanity seeks validation from others, but dignity rests in validation from Allah. The dignified believer walks with a measured pace, neither rushed as if running away from life, nor dragging as if clinging to life. A kind of confidence that comes from knowing Allah is with me. A bearing that says, I am a servant of the king, and that is enough. It's like, I don't need to carry a badge. I don't need to carry a signpost. Once you see me, you know where I am from, and you know who I am. Allahu Akbar. It is Allahu Akbar. You are not rushing, and you are not dragging. And that is why, let me tell you, brothers, don't rush to where you are going. Don't go there late in the first place. If you are driving, people will know the way you drive. And I'm very serious about this. It's a lifestyle. It's the way people behave, and it becomes part of their lives already. A believer does not need to announce his importance. His presence does so quietly. He does not demand respect. His character evokes respect. And then there's another thing we should know about Hauna. Confident, but not arrogant. Confidence is called thiqah. In the believer, it is rooted not in his own abilities, but in the trust in Almighty Allah. The Quran says, وَعَلَى اللَّهِ فَلْيَتَوَكَّلِ الْمُؤْمِنُونَ. And upon Allah, let the believers rely. Quran chapter 3, verse 160. Arrogance says, I am sufficient without Allah. But confidence says, with Allah, I am sufficient. Did you see the rearrangement now? The confident believer walks with a straight posture that reflects the uprightness of his faith, his istiqamah. A steady gaze that sees the world as a field of opportunity for good deeds. Steps that are purposeful. He knows where he's going and he knows why he's going there. His confidence does not waver with people's opinions because his self-worth is not in their hands. It can be rejected, it can be mocked, it can even be ignored. He doesn't care. And he will still walk with the same tranquil gait because his feet are planted in something firmer than human approval. So you understand what you are doing and you are not rushing anywhere. What is it that produces this unique gift? And that's why I say you are lucky and should be grateful that Allah has made you to be a believer. It's not merely a matter of conscious effort, but the natural outflow of inner convictions. Because number one, the believer knows his origin. Minha khalaqnakum wa fiha nu'idukum wa minha nukhrijukum taratan ukhra, like we mentioned earlier on. Quran chapter 20 verse 55. It is from earth that you have come and you know you are going back there. This knowledge produces gratitude for the gift of existence. It produces humility about our material origins. It produces hope for our eventual return to Allah. The arrogant worker forgets that he came from dust. The humiliated worker forgets that he is destined for Jannah. And the believer remembers both and he walks accordingly. The believer also knows his purpose. And that is why you have direction in life, you have intentionality, and then you have accountability. Because you know what you have been created for. The believer also knows his destination. Allah says, Ya ayatu an-nafsul mutma'inna irji'i ila rabbiki radiyatan mardiyya. All you people who have tranquility in their soul, all you soul of tranquil, return to your Lord well pleased and well pleasing. Quran chapter 89 verses 27 to 28. So these are the kind of things that this produces. And what are the practical reflections from this hauna? Number one, check your posture before Almighty Allah. How are you walking and how does Allah see you when you are walking? Number two, you should calibrate your speed. You are not frantic as if the world is all that is there and as if time is running out of you. And you are not lethargic as if there is no purpose or there is no urgency in your life. Then let your eyes reflect your heart. That is, fix your eyes on where you are going and stop wandering up and down, and then walk with others, not over them. This way, you are going to be the person of Hauna. As for the believers who walk with Hauna, they walk upon the earth. They don't walk as kings, and they don't walk as slaves that are dragging chains of shame. They walk as those who know that the dust beneath was once their origin, the dust beneath will one day be their bed, and the one above is watching every step they take. They are not strutting because they know their frailty. They are not shuffling because they know their honor. They are not rushing because they know their destinations are with. And they are not dragging because they know the journey is short. Their feet are firm but gentle. Their pace is steady and not in a hurry. And their gaze is forward, yet they are aware. They are the Ibad-ur-Rahman, and the earth itself is blessed by their person. These are the kind of people that even the earth is pleased to host them. These are the people that even the earth is happy that they are walking on it. Now, the first blueprint was the way we walk, right? The second blueprint is the way we talk. That's the tongue as a mirror of the soul. If the walk is the body's announcement of the soul state, then speech is the soul's autobiography that is written in real time. Nothing reveals us more quickly than what comes out of our mouths, especially when we are provoked, especially when we are tested, and especially when we are confronted with ignorant people. This is the second quality of Ibad-ur-Rahman, and it is addressing this precisely. وَإِذَا خَاطَبَهُمُ الْجَاهِلُونَ قَالُوا سَلَامًا. And when the ignorant addresses them harshly, they say words of peace. Quran chapter 25, verse 63. This verse is not about how believers speak in general, though that is certainly very important. It's about how believers speak when they are addressed by ignorant people. It is about the moment of provocation. What do you do when you are provoked? It's about the instance of irritation. What do you do when you are pissed off? It's at the instance of flashpoint of conflict. How are you going to respond? How are you going to behave? The anatomy of ignorance. Who are these jahilun that we are talking about? It does not simply mean those who lack formal education or knowledge. Some people have gone to school, but they are still ignorant. It refers to those people who, number one, they behave with moral ignorance. They speak without restraint. They act without wisdom. And they react without self-control. Their ignorance is not of the mind, but of the soul. It's a failure of character, not that of intellect. They can be very intelligent, such that you call them intellectuals, but they are still ignorant in terms of behavior of morality. Then there are the people who address other people with harshness. That's why the verse specifically says, they address them. It implies a direct confrontation, a kind of verbal attack. It's an attempt to provoke, an attempt to insult or to demean you. These jahilun, they lack adab. They don't know the etiquette of conversation. In this context, there are those who have not learned the discipline of respectful discourse. They speak from ego, not from wisdom. They speak from impulse and not from reflection. You see a lot of them even in academia. They just talk anyhow. They don't have that manner of approach, that manner of speech. They lack it. They may even be knowledgeable in this dunya thing. And that's why I said they can be professors, but they are ignorant in how to speak with humility to humanity. They are ignorant of when to remain silent. They just want to talk. They are ignorant of the power of words that can wound people and that can heal people. Allahu Akbar. Have you seen this kind of people before? They say this person is professor, and when he starts talking, you'll be wondering, why is he insulting people? Why is he talking down on others? Even when, if you have to defend masters or PhD thesis, you will see one or two of such people like that. They just talk something that you have been researching on for the past 3 years. Someone will just come and badmouth it as if you have been playing all this while. And you see some amongst them that will tell you that yes, they studied what you have written and they have seen that a lot of work has gone into it. And they give you kudos where you deserve it. And where they think you need to improve, they will honorably, they will respectfully, suggest to you, maybe you should try this one. Have you seen this book before? Have you consulted this literature before? You see them in many places. The same thing if you are looking for a job interview. May Allah save you from having to do that. If you go for a job interview, you see somebody who is an ignorant person amongst them, a jahil amongst them. You will see them. This is going to be useful for you. The Quran has taught you how to relate with such people. But the thing is, they are like that. And there are people like that. Then the Quran says, what are you supposed to say to them? You say salama. Where is that salama coming from? What inner structures must be in place before you can say salama to people? Number one, your heart is rooted in Allah's acceptance and Allah's remembrance. You know that everything in this world comes from Allah and returns to Almighty Allah. And you know that once Allah has accepted you, you don't need anybody's approval. You don't need anybody's approval. So you don't need to attack them back because you are not looking for their approval in the first place. Somebody that his approval doesn't benefit you, the person's insult should not hurt you. You want me to say it again? Somebody who, when they praise you, it doesn't add anything to you. When they insult you, you shouldn't feel bad either. There's a proverb in Nigeria where they say the kind of tree that you can lean your back against and it will fall because you are leaning against it If that kind of tree should fall on you, it cannot kill you. That is why you know that your acceptance is from Allah, not from somebody else. And once Allah is pleased with you, it doesn't matter whoever is displeased with you. The second thing that can give you that kind of mindset is a mind that distinguishes between person and behavior. Now, the believer understands that the person attacking them is not their enemy. It is that ignorance in them that's their problem. They hate the sin, but not the sinner. They reject the behavior, but not the human being. And this allows you to say salam sincerely, not as a tactic, but as a genuine wish for the other person's well-being, even while disagreeing with their actions. In other words, you are saying salama because it is not them, it is that ignorance in them that is their problem. Sometimes you just be like, okay, well, only God knows how this person grew up. That kind of thing. Maybe this person didn't grow up in a place where they learn how to speak well to people. So you just like pity the person and walk your own. I say, okay, peace, salam, peace. Never mind, don't worry, madam, don't worry, peace. Just let her go, because that's how some of them talk naturally. Haven't you seen some people when they talk like this, they'll just drop it like that. They don't care what they said or what it meant or how it affected somebody else. Once you just see them talk like that, you know that and they, or maybe somebody wants to call you like this, person say, Ace, Ace. Wos. Wos Wobi. Somebody calling somebody like that. In fact, you almost want to die if somebody calls you like that. But what will you do? You just like, hey, this is how these ones are now. They don't care. They don't know the difference between what and what. You understand what I'm trying to say? Now, if somebody addresses you like that, honestly, before God and man, what are you going to do? You just know that, okay, this one doesn't have terbiyah. You just salama. You see, I'm saying all of these things so that you see that sometimes you just look at some reasons. The mindset that will make you to say salama that the Quran is talking about, these are some of the mindset. Then you have a soul that has tasted sweetness of self-control. Somebody else's behavior no longer precipitate how you are going to behave. You understand what I mean now? So you have been able to shield yourself. The Prophet said, "Laysa ash-shadidu bi-sur'ah, innama ash-shadidu alladhi yamliku nafsahu 'inda al-ghadab." The strong person is not the one who can overpower others. The strong person is the one who controls himself when angry. Salaman is the victory cry of somebody who is truly strong. Salama is the victory proclamation of somebody who has mastered his emotion. It announces that, yes, I have conquered my ego, and that is greater conquest than defeating you in an argument. The fact that I've been able to master my emotion is enough for me. I don't have to win argument with you. I don't need validation of my self-control by engaging in argument with you. You get that gist now, what I'm trying to say. You have to do, it takes a lot of practice, honestly. It takes a lot of practice. Please, I want all of us to start practicing this very well. That self-control is something, honestly, it's a very big thing. For somebody to want you to argue and you refuse to argue, then the mindset, I would say, salaman, is a mindset from a vision that sees the bigger picture. You understand what I mean now? You can see the bigger picture that, okay, what do I need to be doing this for? May Allah make it easy for us. But let us understand very well, salama it comes in different colors. There's a salam of complete silence. It's not every time you even say anything. The Quran says, "Why that sami'u lahwa a'radu anhu wa qalu lana a'maluna wa lakum a'malukum salamun alaykum la nabghi al-jahilin." That's beautiful. Quran chapter 28 verse 55. And when they hear ill speech, they turn away from it and they say, "For us are our deeds and for you are your deeds. Peace be upon you. Salam alaykum." We seek not the ignorant. You see the relationship between this verse now and the one we are talking about. They say, okay, you have your this. Okay, that's how you people do here. No problem. We also have how we do. We are all right. We are good to go. You will just leave it like that. You don't have to even give a response to what that person has said. Oh, that's where you want it. Okay, no problem. That's all. That's a way of saying salam. You totally ignore the insult, you ignore the arrogance of the person, you ignore everything. Oh, that's what you understand? No problem. It's all right like that. But the reality of it all is, you know very well that whatever thing it is, sometimes you can just be quiet. Don't say anything. Because this salam is that of dignified disengagement. Dignified disengagement. You don't want to continue that conversation. And you don't want that argument to go beyond that point. And you don't want that person to insult you beyond that insult. So you leave it like that. Okay, that's where you want it, no problem. That's all. And then you move to another thing entirely. Another way of doing that is this. Another type of salam is the salam of gentle deflection. That is, sometimes the believer responds with a kind word that redirects the conversation to another thing entirely. And that's why the Quran says, وَقُولُوا لِلنَّاسِ حُسْنًا. Speak to people good words. Quran chapter 2, verse 83. When attacked, they find something good to say, perhaps even about the attacker himself. They deflect the negativity and offer something positive in return. Then there's the salam of mercy and prayer. The Prophet ﷺ was stoned in Ta'if. And when one angel came and said, let's destroy these people, the Prophet said, no, leave them. Even if they don't believe, maybe their own children will believe. That is the salam of intercession, salam of prayer. Sometimes when people really behave ignorantly towards you and you feel pained, you just like pray for them in your mind. That, oh Allah, just forgive this person because this person doesn't know what he's doing. Then the salam of gentle correction is also there. That's why they say, call unto the path of your Lord. Udu ila sabil rabbika bil hikmati wal mawziyati al hasana. And you see that in Quran chapter 16, verse 125. So when is salam not enough? There are boundaries to things. If some people are passing their boundaries, it's not every time you are going to be saying salam. Salam means that the believer knows what he's doing, but it doesn't mean that he never confronts people or he never corrects people. It doesn't mean passivity in the face of oppression. No. The believer's response must be understood within the full context of the teachings of Islam. There's a time for salam when the ignorant merely irritate you or provoke you. Yes, salam. There's also the time for hikmah, wisdom, when guidance is possible. When you decide to, okay, let me just guide this person. This person doesn't know anything. Let me guide the person. So you use hikmah to guide or redirect that person. There's time for saraha, that is clarity, when truth must be spoken. There's a time for clarity. You have to clarify something to somebody. That, please come, let me tell you something. This is what it is. What you are saying is not true, is not correct, is not accurate, is not appropriate. Next time, please, don't talk to me like that. It's not a matter of fight, it's a matter of clarification. Yes, there's the sumt also. There's the time when you keep quiet, when words will be wasted. Don't waste your word on some people. You just don't waste your time at all. In fact, if you say pimp like this, you have removed yourself, you have demoted yourself, you remove one rank from yourself. They see you like this. But if you say pimp, then you have turned yourself to them, you have come down to their level. And they be like, and so what? No, don't spoil it. Oh, don't spoil it. Then there's time for kiwama, standing up. Sometimes you have to stand up when oppression must be opposed. If you see somebody being oppressed, or whoever the person is, you may have to stand up and tell the truth that no, it's not done like that. You don't have any right to behave that way. And of course, you know your right too. The Prophet ﷺ responded with salam to the Mecca people now, who are ignorant for 13 years. But he spoke with hikmah to those who would listen, and he fought with sword when oppression left no other choice. The key is discernment. knowing which response fits which situation, and ensuring that even in confrontation, the spirit remains one of the person who is seeking peace, not perpetuating conflict. I hope you understand it now. So generally, when it comes to this verse, when ignorance rises and when you see it scattering everywhere, the servant of the merciful does not build walls. The servant of the merciful does not even run away either. He speaks a single word, salam. Not the salam of fear, because he fears only Allah. And not the salam of weakness, because his strength is from the strong Allah, Al-Qawi. But the salam of the Al-Alim, the one who knows, the salam of Almighty Allah. And he also knows very well that the argument will fade. The believer knows that the insult will soon be forgotten. The believer knows that the moment will pass, but his response will remain written in the book that never closes, weighing on the scale that never tips unjustly. Don't say what you don't know, because what you hear and what you see and what you think, Allah will ask you about it. So salam is a word that costs the believer nothing except his ego. Just slaughter your ego for that time and let it pass. Salam is the vocabulary of the Jannah that is spoken on earth. And salam is the language of angels that is uttered by humans. So when the ignorant address them, they say salam. And in that single syllable, they become for a moment what they will be for eternity, and that is they will be at peace. So dear brothers and sisters, the tongue is a garden. Every word is a seed. Some seeds grow into trees of light. Some other seeds grow into thickets of thorns. The Ibad-ur-Rahman have learned to plant salam even in the rocky soil of provocation. They understand that the words spoken in anger may be forgotten by the evening, but the effect of those words on the soul, both their own soul and the soul of the person you said it to, it may last for eternity. So when the ignorant addresses you, you should just remember, Allah says, وَلَا تَسْتَوِي الْحَسَنَةُ وَلَا السَّيِّئَةُ. Do not compare hasana, goodness, and evil deed. And so choose to be good, choose salam, and choose to be among those whom Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has honored with his name and by calling them Ibad-ur-Rahman. May Allah make our tongues garden of peace and our silence a refuge from futility. So to conclude now, dear brothers and sisters, these verses are not ancient artifacts to be admired from distance. They're a living blueprint for all of us. And it is relevant today, as relevant as they were relevant the time they were being revealed. In a world of arrogance, we are called to walk gently. In a world of anger, we are called to speak peace to people. In a world of distraction, we are called to night prayers when other people are asleep. And in a world of heedlessness, we are called to remember Allah and to remember we are returning to him one day. In a world of excess, we are called to balance. This is Ibad-ur-Rahman. This is the path of those whom the Most Merciful honors with his name. And this path is open to you. It is open to me. It's open to anyone who chooses to walk this path. My name is Abdul Fattah Adeyemi. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.
Welcome to a place where we celebrate your greatness and nurture your path to even greater accomplishments. Acquire Abdul Fattah Adeyemi's soul-lifting handmade masterpieces and experience the divine beauty of Islamic artistry. Join the community. Transform your life. Edit your universe.